Steve Malzberg.
If George Zimmerman is acquitted, completely acquitted, not found guilty of second-degree murder, no lesser charge of manslaughter, and walks free, having killed somebody we know after the event was an unarmed young teenager, there is a concern that this will create a lot of ill feeling, particularly in the black community around America. There may possibly be riots. You will have read the same warnings about this. How concerned are you about that and about the safety of your client should he be declared an innocent man?
Well, first of all, my client will never be safe because there are a percentage of the population who are angry, they're upset, and they may well take it out on him. So he'll never be safe.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Mark O'Mara talking to Piers Morgan last night on CNN. Welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. Joining us now is Tamara Holder, attorney, Fox News Legal Analyst. And Tamara, welcome.
Thanks for having me, but I have to correct you. My name is Tamara, like camera.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. People get mad at me when I correct them. So
no,
I piss off one more person.
No, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. That's fine. Anyway, so let's talk about. I mean, the testimony continuing here in the Zimmerman trial. The defense now speaking with a African American female neighbor of George Zimmerman who is claiming that she recognized the voice on the tape. The 911 tape, which had the screaming, to be that of George Zimmerman. She's not there. She's via Skype because she's in bed. It's actually a pretty good optic, I think, for the defense. Nonetheless, there was expert testimony. DeMayo, the forensic expert, testifying earlier today that Zimmerman was on the bottom, according to what he knows from the forensics, and that the gun was held about 4 inches to 6 inches away from Trayvon Martin, who was hovering down when he was shot. So everything is looking good and has looked good for the defense. In fact, I've challenged people on the other side to give me any credible evidence beyond a reasonable doubt to this point that should put George Zimmerman in jail, and all I get is, well, he disobeyed the order not to leave his car, which is a lie, and really nothing beyond that.
Right. Well, let me just break a few things down, at least just from my perspective. And I'm a criminal defense attorney. I personally, just like with the Casey Anthony case, I think that George Zimmerman did something negligent. I don't know if it was necessarily second-degree murder, but he, like you said, acted without proper guidance or whatever. He didn't adhere to not following the police recommendation or it wasn't even the police, it was the dispatcher.
Right.
And I've been following this case very closely. But just like in Casey Anthony, and you pointed this out, the Casey Anthony trial, the state has the burden to prove a case beyond a reasonable doubt. They didn't do it in that case. I don't think they're going to do it in this case. They have the burden, and it's very difficult because of the lack of evidence. It's not a CSI case. You don't have the great eyewitnesses. You don't have the great forensics. It sounds like the police didn't really know what they were doing in many different ways. But I want to disagree with you on one thing, and that's the how the defense has done today. I think that what they should have done is they should have ended with DeMayo. He pointed out a lot of interesting things, and they should have left the jury with that. This guy that testified, the city of Stanford guy with the 911 call, he really didn't provide much. And now you have this woman in bed who's apparently sick. There's a big difference between being sick and bedridden. It's just bizarre to me. It's bizarre to see somebody in bed. She's not that sick where she's on her deathbed. She doesn't sound sick or really look sick. They should have propped her up, put a fake bookcase behind her or something. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life, and I don't think it's going to sit well with the jurors. And on top of that, she wasn't a witness. She didn't see what happened. So I think the defense is overdoing things. They don't have the burden here, and they would have been good with just this, with DeMayo's forensic testimony. It's just open and shut.
Well, there's a lot of I think the defense has gone on. You know, the criticism from the opening argument was that they went on too long there too. But I think what they're planning on doing is certainly going over the toxicology and talking about the marijuana found in the autopsy report. And then I don't know if they're going to call the family attorney or not. But the questions to Trayvon Martin's father yesterday indicated, and the interview with Piers Morgan then indicated that they plan on doing that because apparently the lawyer has gone on, told the media that the father, it's a lie. The father never told the cops he didn't know. He identified it from the beginning as Trayvon's voice, etc. So either the lawyer was lying to the media or the father is lying when he said he didn't tell the lawyer to lie to the media. What that gains them, I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be the forensics and it's going to, the toxicity report and possibly the lawyer, and then that'll probably be it.
Well, I think the judge made a really poor decision in allowing the toxicology to come in with regard to the marijuana use, because what's going to happen is that, first of all, marijuana use is not the same as alcohol use. It can stay in the system for up to a month or so, and there's no proof that he was under the influence of marijuana at the time of the incident. And so I just also that what's going to happen, I think, if I were the prosecutors in this case, is that I would bring on rebuttal witnesses from universities or wherever to rebut the fact that just because THC is found in the system, that does not mean that Trayvon Martin acted aggressively or was high at the time.
No, but Tamara, the fact is, all we hear is, and they presented, although they have to be careful because it opens the door to bring in what they found on Trayvon's phone, which I think they're going to try to do also. But we know this man is unarmed, with skipping home with a bag of Skittles and iced tea, minding his own business. Now, if the jury learns that this guy smokes pot, had smoked pot, ever smoked pot, it just puts a different spin in their minds, whether or not he was on it at the time or not. It puts Trayvon Martin in a different light.
Well, I don't know. It depends on if one of the jury questions on the jury questionnaire, which will be interesting to see later on, if they ask the potential jurors, and especially the jurors that are sitting there now, if they've ever used marijuana or any other illegal drugs, or if they've had alcohol or whatever. Me personally, and I'm very open about this, I'm pro-marijuana. I'm pro-medical marijuana. I have smoked marijuana in the past. I've tried it, and I know a lot of people who take it for medicinal purposes. And so I just do not feel that it puts somebody in a negative light whatsoever.
Well, I think a 17-year-old underage young man smoking it is viewed in a negative light. One who would tell his girlfriend on the phone or friend on the phone that I'm being followed by a crazy-ass cracker. I think you got to put these things together.
Followed.
What's that?
He was being followed, and
by a crazy-ass cracker.
Right. Well, but let me just also say, in Zimmerman's defense, one of the interesting things is that his professor said that there's something called imperfect self-defense with Stand Your Ground, where even if Zimmerman actually started the fight, again, I'm speaking as in Zimmerman's defense, even if Zimmerman started the fight, he still could have ended up lawfully killing Trayvon Martin in self-defense if he at any point feared for his life. So that is why this case is so bizarre and so just interesting, because let's just say Zimmerman did follow him. Zimmerman started it. Zimmerman did everything wrong. If Trayvon had the upper hand, if you will, in the fight, and Zimmerman got scared, legally he was entitled to kill Trayvon Martin with his gun.
Well, yeah. Well, I just think where I am is that there's reasonable doubt for every prosecution witness ended up with either reasonable doubt or leaning, in my view, towards the favor of the defense. So I just don't see how a jury, if they follow the directions, and you don't know what's in their minds, but I thought Casey Anthony would have been convicted, but if they follow everything that they're told, I just don't see how they convict him. Listen, it's been fun talking to you. I hope you'll come back.
I will be back anytime, and for the record, I agree with you. I don't think that I think that he'll be found not guilty. I think this is just a very hard case.
Okay, thank you. Tamara Holder.